Hey guys, it's Talton Robertson back at it again, and today I am going to be showing you how to set up your triggers for Scoutly to find profitable books. So let's go! All right, guys, we're in my computer. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to your triggers admin panel. This is assuming you've already got your subscription to Scoutly. If you don't have a subscription to Scoutly, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. So you can just click that, go ahead and get your subscription, and then you're going to be ready to set up your triggers so that you can scan books to find profitable books to sell on Amazon. So we're going to enter in our user ID here, and I'm going to block this all out. So don't worry about it. And we're going to log in. Okay. Now, this is where it starts to get good. This is the inside of your triggers admin panel. This is where you want to do your editing at. It's just so much easier to do it on a computer than to do it on your phone. I don't recommend doing it on your phone if you have a computer. If you don't have a computer, definitely do it on your phone because you want your triggers to be right. So, before we get started, let's just, give some definitions out here. So, triggers. Triggers are basically like an indicator. So, when you have your trigger set up, let's say we set our triggers up to indicate us as a seller when a book is priced at a certain price point. So if it's $15 book, I want it to cha-ching and notify me that that's a good book. So that's what we're doing here. We're setting them up with certain rules to give us, the indicators to pick the right books. And before we get into the trigger set, just to let you guys know, you can have a team. And then so you can see I have a team right here. This is my second account. And then so you can actually set up your triggers for all your team members. So we're going to go into thrift store triggers. This is what I set up to literally scan at thrift stores. So we're going to go to edit trigger set. All right. So you can name your own triggers here. Now at the description, I put on here, use at stores with prices $2.50 or less. So if the stores have prices of $2.50 or less, this is my go-to trigger set for any of my guys that are out scanning books for me. All right. And then fulfillment, I always do FBA. I am an FBA seller. I do not merchant fulfill many things. I do have some things I merchant fulfill, but for the most part, I'm sending it to Amazon. And if you don't know what FBA stands for, it means fulfillment by Amazon. This is where they will pick, pack, ship, and handle the customer service of all your orders. Buy cost, $2. Now I like to put in my buy cost here for $2 because at most thrift stores, your books are going to be $2 for a hardback. Now this varies from place to place. I'm here in North Carolina. So in North Carolina, I usually can get most of my paperbacks for $1, most of my hardbacks for $2 or less. So I like to go on the high side, $2. That's my general buy cost. And then we have a FBA inbound cost per pound. Now this is the price that it costs you to ship Amazon your books, your inventory. Now where I'm at, I'm able to use the UPS preferred method. UPS is a partner to Amazon, so they are going to allow you to ship your inventory to Amazon at a really cheap rate. And this is usually about what I pay. Sometimes it may be a little more, sometimes it may be a little less, but on average, this is about what I pay. I send in 45-pound boxes, and it roughly costs me $9. So you can break down the math. It might be off a little, but it's close enough. Okay, so triggers. Click below for quick editing. Click edit for full editing. Now I'm just going to let you know we're going to want to do full editing. But you can see here, I've already got all of these triggers set up. Now I made it simple for you guys. I've got a total of 10 triggers here. So 10 triggers, that's what I use. It works for my business. Now I do have these triggers set up to where it's not going to show me winners that are all winners. It will show me winners and potential winners. And with those potential winners, sometimes you have to decide for yourself, is this something I think I can sell and get it for the price that I want to sell it for? Or is this something I think that could tank in price? And so, with that being said, I don't think I should buy it. Okay, so let's see here. If we click here to edit. Now this is our book trigger 1. Now when you go under here to your book trigger 1, I have it set up so that we have 10 different sections of the Amazon sales rank and days of sales. I use both to determine what do I want to see when I'm deciding the price of the book. So that's basically what we're doing here is we're editing these triggers so that if a book meets these requirements, it's going to cha-ching on you, or give you some kind of indicator that this is a good book. So first off, when you go to do this from default, you're going to see like 151 to 186. Now on trigger 2, it might be like 125 to 151. So I do not recommend doing that because I'm trying to build a trigger tree that will use all the days of sales and the sales rank to give me really good results. So sales count here 150 to 186. If it sells between 150 times and 186 times in a 6-month period, it will be indicated under book trigger 1. Also, with that being said, the sales rank needs to be between 1 and 50,000. So sales rank is just like the number one selling book on Amazon. Sorry about that. The number one selling book on Amazon is number 1. It sells the most copies. The 50,000 sales rank is the 50,000th best-selling book on Amazon. So that's how you would go about that. And so use average sales rank. You definitely want to click this because the way sales rank works is you could have a book that was ranked 9 million, which means it never hardly ever sells. And then it sells. When it sells, the rank will actually drop down to like about 100,000 to 200,000, somewhere in that range. And then you may come across this book and it might cha-ching because it meets your sales rank requirements, but it does not meet average sales rank requirements, because if you had the average, it would show you the average was 9.84. So it would get classified under a different trigger set. So you definitely want to use average sales rank. This is just going to give you a better, more concise idea. If there's nothing else you learn from this video, it's to use this average sales rank, and always require both. You definitely want to require rank and average sales rank. Okay. Minimum MF price. I never really touch this unless we get to the slow moving book. So you're going to skip this for the most part. Target price. Now I want to compare it to the 4th FBA offer. So this is going to be the 4th highest offer for FBA. And the used offer to compare to will be the highest. And the new offer to compare to would be the 2nd. So I'm very lenient right here. These books sell so fast that I'm not really too worried about matching the lowest offer. I'm actually trying to match the highest used offer, which is the bottom 20. The bottom 20, your 20th one, that's your used offer to compare to when it's the highest. Now, compare to used buy box, I always compare to used buy box when it's higher. This just helps me figure out whether it has more potential, because sometimes the used buy box might be higher than the lowest price. Usually that's the case. So You just have to do this, and this will help open up your eyes to more books. And then when we're comparing to Amazon or the new buy box, we want to take 5% off. It's super fast selling. So more than likely 5% off. Someone's looking to save, you know, $1 or 50 cents or whatever the case is, they'll still buy it. Target profit, $3. Now I do this because I want a minimum profit of $5 or a $5 gap between what I have to pay in fees and what it's going to sell for. So that gives me $1 or $2 to pay for the book, and then $3 in profit. And if the book's free, then it's just $5 in profit. Either way, that's what I like to do on these really fast moving books. $3 profit. I don't accept nothing less. I don't expect you to. And honestly, the higher this number is, without being crazy, you're going to find better and better books. So don't lower this too much. $3 is pretty much the floor price. All right, and then I always like to have dark green cash sound tell me to buy. So I'm going to just hit cancel because we already know that these are already set. And then so you can see right here that I have all of these set. Now this little plus, that means your average sales rank is clicked. So if you're not clicking your average sales rank and require both, your little plus arrow is not going to be here. Now see, we see here minimum ranks 1. So yeah, minimum ranks still 1. Now let me show you why. Let's click edit. All right. So sales count 100 to 186. So if it sells between 100 and 186 times in a 6-month period, it'll be found under this book trigger. And my sales rank goes up to 125,000. I definitely want to use both. Same thing here. FBA offer to compare is 4. Used offer is the highest. New offer is the second. These are still super fast moving books, guys. So, you know, you can be more lenient on your target price. And we're still going to compare to the used buy box. And then we're going to do the 5% off. $3 profit based on FBA. If you're always doing FBA, make sure you're always doing FBA on your triggers. So now we're going to go to trigger 3. And trigger 3, edit. All right, trigger 3 here. Now this one goes from 50 to 186. So now I'm letting more books come into this trigger set right here, because as long as it has 50 days of sales, it will go in this trigger set. And, you know, if it has 100, it goes into the next, and yada, yada. You know, I have it set up so that I'm going to find the right trigger sets. Now, basically, trigger set 2 and 3, or 1 and 2, are basically the same. So you really could combine them two if you wanted. And then just set your sales count down here to the 100, and then set your sales rank right here to the 125,000 that was on the last one. But I just have mine set up in 10 triggers. You guys do what you want. Now, this one goes to 250,000. So we're starting to, you know, get on closer to that 1 million mark. At 1 million, that's when books sell, you know, about twice a month on average. Now, FBA offer, we're going to go ahead and drop this FBA offer. It's moving a little slower. It's still a fast-moving book, but a little slower. So we're going to take the third FBA offer as our target price, or the highest used offer. Now, you do this right here, the highest and the FBA third, because sometimes the API, which is just basically the information that Scoutly has from Amazon, they're given rights to do this. They have to pay for it. They're not given all of the information, so they're only allowed to show like the bottom 20 offers. So if the third FBA offer is priced higher than this, then this is your backup. Basically, that's how that works. Okay, and then we're going to compare, always higher, 5% off, and we still have $3 profit. All right, moving on. Trigger set number 4, right here. Now you can see our sales count went down to 25. So as long as it sells 25 times in a 6-month period, it's going to be in this trigger set. And this goes up to 500,000. We're going to require both. Use the average sales rank. Now we're going to compare to the third FBA offer. Always the highest used offer, especially on fast moving books. And new offer is now 1. I think the last one may have been 1 as well. I forgot. But we're still going to select the use the buy box when it's higher. We're going to do 5% off on this one as well. And we're still running with a $3 profit. Now let's go to trigger number 5. And if this is fast for you guys, don't worry. That's why I'm recording this video. You can take your time, pause, do what you need to do to get the information that you need to set your triggers up so that you can be successful. All right, trigger set number 5. Now here we go. You can see right here we went from 500,000 average. Now we're going to 900,000 average. So we're starting to get into the slower moving books. Now trigger 5. Sales count 20 to 186, 1 to 900,000. Using both. Target price. Now we're comparing to the second FBA offer. So at this, your second FBA offer is probably about as high as you want to price the book, unless you know something that I don't. Maybe it's a Keepa chart. Maybe you know the book is in high demand at the moment. There could be all sorts of things for you to price higher than that. But this is where I have mine set. I would suggest you to do the same. I love my Red Bull. Maybe they want to sponsor me. That'd be cool. Anyways, we're going to go to right down here. It's still higher, but now we're changing our buy box to 10% off. So as the book sells slower and slower, you want to be more and more competitive. It's just that simple. So we're taking 10% off of these prices to make sure that our book's competitive. Also, when books sell slower, you want more profit because you're going to have to wait longer for that sale. So $4 profit here based on FBA. And then that's it for trigger set number 5. Now, if we go to trigger set number 6, now we're into the 1.4 million range. Okay, trigger 6. So as long as it sells 10 times in a 6-month period, it will be on trigger set number 6, unless that rank is higher than 1.4 million. So that's how that works. And here we're going to compare to the first FBA offer, highest, and then the first new offer. We're also going to select the use buy box when it's higher, and we're still going to take 10% off, and we're still going to get our $4. So simple. All right, now trigger set number 7. We're going to the 2 million rank. This is when stuff changes. And if you don't want me to go through every single one, you're probably going to have to hit edit here to get all of your triggers to do the average sales rank. But you could probably do everything else from here, which might be faster. But you can see we have 2 million average. Now, when it says no, use only sales rank. No, we're also using the days of sales. And then the first offer here is the FBA slot. So we're now at 1. And then we're still comparing to the highest as far as the use slot goes. And then select use buy box if lower that's going to be pretty much no always, except for no always. And then select use buy box. That's going to be higher on this one. This is the last one that we're going to select if it's higher. And then 10% off Amazon in the buy box. And then our target profit right here goes up to $5. So I want at least $5 if it's going to be that much. Now, some people will be like, you're crazy, for taking on books that are $5 in profit. Now, granted, that's really $7 because of my $2 buy cost. But right here, when we jump up to 3 million, I now require $10 and 20% off. And then we're selecting the second use price, and we're skipping this. So as you get to this end of the spectrum, this is when, you really don't want that many books in this rank. You want to make it hard for them to be there. So if it has more than $10 profit, that is good. It will at least come up. And depending on the book, I may or may not accept it for my personal, needs when it comes to selling. If I have too much inventory and my inventory limits are going up, I will not put this in my inventory. And then we go up to 5 million on this ninth trigger set, and we're using the first or the lowest used offer, and 20% off, and we're requiring a 20% or a $20 price tag right here. So it has to have $20 or more in profit. Now, I really don't expect to pull that many books in these couple of triggers. These ones kind of just safeguard me from pulling bad books. But then this one right here, trigger 10, this is my catch-all. So what is a catch-all? A catch-all basically allows me to catch any book that is profitable with a price tag of, $50 profit. So even if the book is not being sold currently, as in it just has really bad sales rank, no days with sales, there's really no one buying this book, this is going to allow me to catch those books, because every now and then there are people that will pay big money for those books, and it might take a year or two to sell. So with those, you just got to be competitive and stay on it. I recommend using a repricer for those. But at the same time, you have to make sure that the price is justified. I always look at the Keepa charts, see if it's ever sold for this high, or how high has it sold for, and then I would make my decision based on that. So we're going to catch also from 0 to 186. That means even if it has 0 days of sales, I will still catch it. And we're using average, so up to 20 million average. I will never buy a book above 20 million average, because there's like 100 million books total. So, if you're not in the top 20%, it's never going to sell. And then we're going to skip this right here. This is your FBA slot. So I'm skipping FBA slots for these last 3 triggers, because they're so slow. I wouldn't even consider sending them to FBA. That's just how I got that. Now, U slot, we're going to pick the lowest U slot number 1. And then no, we're not going to do any buy box. And we're definitely going to make sure we're 20% off of Amazon or the new bot price. And we're going to still get our $50 profit. So that is my catch-all. So, and you can see here, these triggers are blue and these are gray. These are turned off. These do nothing for me. So that's 10 triggers right there. And with those 10 triggers, you're going to be able to go out, find profitable books. And, we can see that we're taking on books with a profit of $3, even with the $2 buy cost. That's still over 100% ROI. So if you're able to multiply your money by 100% every single day, that money will add up. Now, I know that's not completely possible with books, but you are able to make those huge ROIs on books all the time. You might not be flipping all of your money at once like you can in the stock market, but with this, you can have income generating, and you're going to build a cash flow. And cash flow is king. I will tell you that. So that's pretty much it. And then you can save it. And then once you have that, then you'll have your trigger set done. And then just make sure that when you're on your phone and you're about to scan books, that your trigger set is the one that you're utilizing, because you could be utilizing the default. And I'm just going to show you what the default looks like. This is probably what you have. So you can see right here, it goes from 115 to 150. Well, what happens if the book is ranked at 52,000 here, but the days of sales is 152 or 153? So you're going to have conflicting data here. And that's why I like to use my system. Now, the way I do it is basically it's got to fit in both of the categories, one or the other. It's going to fit in both of them at some point, to where this one could fit in one or the other currently. So that's why I do that. So in other words, I'll never have data like right here. I could have a book that sells 116 times, and it might be ranked 125,683. So it's splitting the data, and sometimes that can cause your app to mess up. So that's why I recommend definitely changing all of your triggers. You do not want to miss books because of that. But other than that, these triggers are fine. I think mine are better. You can see that these are so incremental. I don't see a point in being in them being that incremental. It's not that big of a deal. I definitely would not take $2 profit. That's just a waste of my time. Those $2 books, they just don't add up enough. So you really just need to stick with higher profit books. $3 is my minimum, plus my $2 in the buy cost gives me a $5 spread at bare minimum. So make sure you have a $5 spread on anything you send, and you can have success with Amazon. So yeah, that's it, guys. Those are the book triggers. I hope I taught you something. If you like this information, make sure to give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, and we'll get it next time. Peace.